look at how did what our choice get us to where we're at? How did our choices come and lead us to where we're at today? The second reason that it is that sometimes the sinfulness of others does impact your life. Sometimes the choices other people make and the bad things that they do and the sinfulness that exists within this world comes and it impacts our life. And it causes us pain. It causes disaster. It causes us grief. And we feel that. The third thing is that sometimes God's purposeful redirection is why we feel life hitting us this hard. Sometimes God has a specific purpose why he has sent something your way that might be painful, might be hard, might be something that we struggle with, but yet God has a purpose in what he's doing. Now my question is, in these three things, which one was the reason for Joseph's redirection in his life? Which one was the reason Joseph was hit so hard? Out of those three, which one was it that caused Joseph to experience the pain that he's going through at this time? And I think all three could be argued for, right? Certainly we know that his own bad choices, he did not endear himself to his brothers, all right? We know that, and we saw that. Certainly the sinfulness of his brothers led to what was impacting his life. And we also know by looking ahead in the story that God has a purpose in what he's doing. We actually find out, and this is kind of a spoiler alert here, but we find out that Joseph comes back to his brothers and says it was God's purpose that he had in mind to be able to save our family, to ever bring salvation to our people. So God had a purpose in it. He told his brothers, don't worry about what you did because God had his purpose in it. The final reason, though, is sometimes, and this is the hardest one of all for us to come to grips with, is sometimes it's none of the above. Sometimes bad things just happen. Sometimes disasters just happen. Sometimes things just go wrong. Illness comes up. Disaster strikes. Bad situations develop. This world is not our home, thank God. And we have bad things that take place in our life. But I think when those two, especially number 3 and 4, when we have that, a lot of times we exist within some challenging times and we can't see the picture of what God is doing. But one of the things that I can give you, and one of the things that is the good news that I want you to hear today, is that in each of these, God can bring good to his people. All right? If your own bad choices have led to that, hear the good word of Jesus Christ and that you're forgiven. All right? If the sinfulness of others are impacting your life, then know and understand that God's justice will carry out and he will deliver you from that evil. If God is purposely redirecting, you might not be able to see it. And maybe it's none of those things, and you might not be able to see it. But one of the things that the promises that we have through Jesus Christ is that in any situation, at every time, we can have victory over the things that assail us. All right? There is nothing in this world, there is no change of direction, there is no wall that you can hit that keep you from achieving something better in Jesus Christ. Jennifer's song talked about that. When we talk about the rough times in our lives, we talk about who we are as Christian people. When we talk about how we grow in Christ, our greatest growth